Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, live from Harlem in New York City. It's the Ramble with me, Alex Bennett. Yeah, what the hell. Hello everybody, how are you? We have no interview tonight at the beginning of the program for several reasons. Number one, Pops here did an interview today, two of them, really good ones, with Lori Thompson. I mean, really good. One was for Thanksgiving. It was all about turkeys and cooking turkeys and things like that. And then the other one was about me in Europe going on vacation, which I've just come back from, and some of you are seeing me for the first time since that trip to Paris. And we're going back because this time we're going to get it right, but I'll explain that later. So in any event, we thought we would come on here tonight and play her, but then my audio didn't record. It seems there was something with this new board I bought, this Rode Caster 2, that just if I rebooted my machine, then it wouldn't send the audio over until I turned it off and on again. And so consequently, I did two wonderful interviews with Lori, and there was no audio. And I did that once before to it, too. So I went in, I fixed everything, and I figured it out. And the thing was, the Rodecaster didn't have itself turned on to go to a connection, Wi-Fi connection. So I now can turn it off and back on again, and the audio works. I don't have to go change it. But anyway, that's the reason why. And, you know, I guess years ago I wouldn't have had that problem because I would have figured it out way in advance of this. But it's happened several times to me, and I just, what can I say? Yeah. I'm just getting older and worse. But we'll live with that for a while. Anyway. So, I want to talk to you about something. I ran this thing on my Facebook page. It was a little thing I wrote about what I wanted to do with the Ramble. Okay, and one of the things I wanted to do with the Ramble, more than any other, was not talk about Trump. Now, here's the reason why. For the past 10 years, he has so dominated the news cycle that almost every day his name came up, and more so recently when he was running for president than at any other time, although back about 8 years ago, it was very heavy too on Trump. And I was sitting in Paris, and I was watching Bill Maher. I had an iPad, and I went on to HBO Max, and we were watching Bill Maher. Gave us something to watch besides the French TV and the British TV. And we were watching Bill Maher, and I suddenly got very depressed. And the reason I got depressed is this was the first show he did after the election results, okay, came in. And it was really kind of depressing, to watch him, because what they were doing is, and I don't know how to describe it anything else but bashing Kamala Harris, a name which we've already forgotten. Okay, this will be a trivia question in 6 months. Who ran for president a year ago? And you go, was it Biden did it again? I can't remember. But anyway, I sat there and watched them just go after Kamala, and I just got more and more depressed about the future of this country and what we had just done to ourselves. and realizing when I came back to the United States from France, where I was getting an entirely different look at the world, like as to what's important, and believe it or not, we were like second or third on the news every night in England. And I realized that we didn't really have anything to say or do. What's the word? What am I trying to get across here? I'm suddenly phasing out on where I was going with this. But anyway, I began to realize that I've been talking about Trump every night for like 10 years. At least once his name would come up. Other times he dominated the entire program. And I said to myself, I can't go back to the United States, do the Ramble, and do this again. You know, I got to tell you, folks, we could talk about Donald Trump here, and there's a lot to talk about, and we'll get it out of our system tonight, because tonight is the last night I want to hear his name said on this program. You go, but Alex, if we don't talk about him, it's news, it's important to discuss. Why is it important to discuss it? No amount of discussion. He's got the Senate, he's got the House of Representatives, he's got the Supreme Court, he's got the presidency, he's got the whole ball of wax. He can do anything he wants to. He can make himself king, for crying out loud. And there's nothing we can do to prevent it, short of if I came on here and said, let's all have a militia and go fight the enemy, you know, or the the perceived enemy, okay? You know, I mean, outside of something like that, I mean, what can we possibly talk about here that would change anything? Okay? Our future is etched in stone. You've got to deal with this guy for the next 4 years and maybe beyond, because I don't think he's going to give up the presidency, or he's going to turn it over to one of his minions or one of his sons, probably Junior. He's not going to quit, okay? After it's all over, he's not going to stop. He wants to be president for life, because isn't that what they do in South America? Anyway, just talking about it isn't going to solve the problem. Now, the latest news I got is, I'm an older person. Have you noticed? See these bags under my eyes? Well, some of them are because of Trump, but the rest of them are just because of life. Because next month, I'm going to celebrate my 85th birthday, if I live that long. I always say that because I don't know what's coming tomorrow, you know. The heart attack could hit, and that's it. You know, I'm out of here. Everybody goes, gee, whatever happened to Alex Bennett? But anyway, so I'm going to be 85. And what's very important to me, you know, at this age has been Medicare. Medicare is very important to me because it has helped pay the bills, some of my medical bills, in spite of the fact that I pay about $350 a month for the supplemental that we have, which, in other words, when I go into any doctor, have any kind of operation, go into any hospital, with the coverage I've got, everything is paid for, okay? So I like my Medicare, and I'm telling you now, maybe some of you don't have to have Medicare yet, but when you get it, you're going to really like it. You know, it does help. The only thing you're not going to like is the 20% you have to pay. So you're being conned into taking this. What do you call it? They call it Medicare D, Part D, or something like that. What it is really is that the insurance companies create this plan, and then the government signs over your Medicare money to them. Okay, and then they take care of you. Yeah, right. So what we do is we get the one that's Medicare. That's Advantage. Okay, we get Medicare supplemental, and I go into a doctor and I don't pay anything. There's no copay, nothing. Everything is paid for and taken care of. All right. So that being the case, Guess who's taking over as the head of Medicare and Medicaid? You know, don't you? Some of you out there who've been watching the news. Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz is going to be taking care of me in my old age? Are they crazy? It's never going to happen. You know? I don't understand. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's one of the things. All the people he's putting into these various posts and so on in his cabinet, it basically looks like TV people who can't get a job any longer. All right. So anyway, that's the story, you know, and I have that to look forward to. I have to look forward to a lot of other things in the next 4 years, and that's why we are seriously considering, you know, I've often said this when another president gets elected, everybody goes, I'm moving to another country, and then, you know, 4 years later, you're still here. Well, you know, I got out of the country for 5 days, which was far too short amount of time. Don't ever go anywhere in Europe for 5 days because 2 of them are going to be spent sleeping, all right? You know, but if you're going to go to another country, then it's time to do it. This is the time to do it. Things are not going to be very good in this country because, number one, this man doesn't know how to run a country. Number two, he's putting people into office who don't know how to run a country. Linda McMahon, what do they put her in charge of? I can't even remember what they put her in charge of. Education. I think the Department of Education is you know who Linda McMahon is? She's, what do you call it? Vince McMahon's wife or ex-wife. I don't know. Are they still married? I don't know. He was fucking around a lot. Anyway. Can you imagine her, the head of education? What possible experience? She wasn't even a teacher. What kind of experience does she have? And then, of course, you know, what's his name? Matt Gaetz as the Attorney General, a man who's committed any number of crimes that he is yet to be convicted on, but we know he committed them. To make him the Attorney General. And let's see here, who do you make the Secretary of State? I'm trying to remember now. And then, the head of the Army is a guy who has a TV show on Fox and Friends Saturdays. He isn't even good enough to be on the A team, all right? And Trump is making him president. You know, come on, folks. Come on. You know, this is what you got to live with. These people are going to go in there and they are going to ruin the country because they don't know what they're doing. You know, when I want to go out, when I got a bad sink, outside of the fact that maybe I'll look up what's wrong with it on YouTube and hope that maybe I can fix it, I go out and I hire a plumber because the plumber knows what he's doing. So you hire people to do jobs who know what they're doing, and these people are totally incapable of anything. And I grant you that a lot of these people have to go through Congress, and that even in the Senate, they're not happy with some of these choices. Like Matt Gaetz maybe won't get approved, but because he doesn't get approved, Trump is going to want another one to get approved. So they're going to approve all the others because they got Matt Gaetz. All right? You know, it's going to be terrible here. So if you were thinking about moving out of the country, I suggest you do. I just found out that in Portugal, as a senior, I can move there and everything's fine. I can live there for as long as I want to live there. You know, so whatever. So that's what we have to live with. Now, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to allow you to talk all about Donald Trump. That will be the subject, okay? Then tomorrow we go on. I don't want to hear his name said on this show. And occasionally we will talk about stuff that's part of that political system, because obviously, you know, they're going to do things to, for instance, Medicare that we don't like, and that's worth talking about. You know, it's worth talking about how horrible it is, but then beyond a certain point, it isn't worth talking about anymore, because as I said earlier, he ran the table, okay? He's got this, he owns this country right now. You know, the part that really gets to me is the part where he's trying to keep himself from being convicted of crimes, like the one here in New York, saying that while he's president, he has immunity. Well, no, he doesn't have immunity. This case is in New York. It has nothing to do with the federal government, and it has nothing to do with his job. And the things he was accused of happened way before he was president. So really, how they figure it falls under the immunity part of this whole thing, that the Supreme Court gave a president the right to have, but a right to have on things that have to do with the government, okay? The case here in New York, the Stormy Daniels case, he wasn't even president at the time that he committed the crimes. And the money he spent and so on that was illegal to spend and the things that made him a felon still stand. And the idea that they're going to hold it off till he's not president anymore. I'm sorry. When I was growing up, I was told, and you know, there were various lies I was told when I was growing up in school, the things they told me that, you know, that just weren't true. And one of them was, nobody's above the law. Well, apparently that's not true. Apparently Donald Trump is above the law. And quite frankly, I think it's terrible what they're doing to him, you know, by letting him get away with this crap. And he's going to continue to get away with it. So, you know, who knows what, I don't know, I give up. So Marjorie and I are looking at moving out of the country because we found out, among other things, there may be other countries that do this, that Portugal, if you're a senior and you go to Portugal, you can live there and be a citizen. I'm going to check that one out because that means that I could probably be a citizen. So anyway, that's, you know, that's my thinking on stuff. And why do I run people at the beginning of this show when I can talk for almost 25 minutes? I don't understand it. But anyway, we got a couple of people waiting. We only have 2 people waiting, actually, to be very honest with you. But they're good people. They're good, solid people, people I like, people who I enjoy having on this show. So why don't we do them here? Let me see here. Let me see here. Got to let me and then I want to go over to Zoom. And there they are. There's Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Alex. Can you hear me okay?
How you doing? Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay,
And
good.
there's our old friend Charlie Wallace. Charlie, how you doing? Oh, he hasn't heard us yet. Charlie, how you doing?
Doing pretty good considering.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for you and whoever else cares, there's no intersection tonight because Amy has a friend who's sick, who's in the hospital and stuff, and so they're going to do something about it. She's going to go see them, and she's not doing a show tonight, so you should know that, and so should everybody else. Anyway, hello, everybody. How are you? Let's see here. Let's say hello to Kevin, Charlie, Alan. Hello, Alan.
I'm doing good.
And Jeff Stein is still trying to connect to audio. This is watching.
Looking for it.
This is, you know, we don't need to talk about anything. This is just pure entertainment, watching him. Tomorrow we're gonna have late lunch with Jeff, and maybe I'll talk to him about, I'll bring my iPad and show him exactly what you do, you know, to get the audio. But anyway, hello to all of you, and everybody else can call too. It's a little early because I decided to open the show on my own tonight, and I have coffee to drink here, and God, this is a time of my life. I wish I had some cocaine. Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
That would make for a good show.
I got my gummies. I got my gummies.
You know, I can't eat pot. It just gets me high on a bad thing.
Oh, I feel great.
So listen, this is your last time to talk about this administration. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be horrible. And but all the suffering I don't want to have on this program. You know? And I honestly believe there's nothing. Do you feel there's anything we can do here on this program to make anything better?
Yes.
If you can't, if you
There's
have an
moral
idea,
support
let
for
me
each other.
know. You know, we'll do it.
Yes, there's something you can do.
What?
Call your senators and tell them that you need them to prioritize confirming all the judicial nominees they have before the end of the session. It's important.
Yeah.
And apparently, the people
But
who
they're
are
not
their
going to
staffers
be-
say
they're
when
not
you
gonna-
call,
Pamela,
rather than
they're not going to be able to do that. Because the reason they're not going to be able to do it is that it's not really an easy thing to do. They've already got these people. They will not be, I think, put before the Senate until Donald Trump is president.
no, I think they can do some
No,
before.
I don't think they
before the end
do
of
any
the
of them
term.
beforehand. I don't.
And the thing is, when they hear from people on the phone, I don't know, they probably like tab it up, you know,
You know
and
something? Really?
All right.
They,
you asked, that's my thought for the day.
if that's possible, if that's possible, that's the best we can do. But after he's president, what can we do?
No, nothing. That's why you gotta work now.
Nothing.
And
Come
work
join
to-
us in
and work to
Come
get-
join us in Portugal. We'll have a nice little house there, you know,
I may do
and the
that.
Portuguese people will love us with open arms, you know. In fact, I found in Europe, people were in Paris. They were really nice
They
to
gotta
us.
carry on, guys. You gotta carry on.
Yeah, but they were really
2
nice
years,
in Paris. to
hopefully
us.
we can, it'll be, I hope it goes well, but I don't expect it to go well. So if it doesn't
it's
go
not
well,
gonna
that
go
little
well.
bit,
No, forget it. No, not
we'll
a chance.
flip it over to Democrats again and you try again.
Not a chance. And just remember one other thing. You want to really get depressed?
No.
Every other person you meet voted for Trump.
That's right. But flip it over. Almost half the people voted for Democrats. So all you gotta do is get that little piece in the middle back on track
over
and you'll be back
50%
in.
of them voted for Trump. And
Actually,
so-
he's less than 50% now.
Well,
Yeah.
in any event, too many people voted for Donald Trump. Too many people thought this was a good idea. You know, too many people were idiots about this. I'm not going to call them morons because they don't like being called morons, okay? I mean, you know, there's a lot of talk about where Kamala went wrong, you know, and it's not her fault. It's where the Democratic Party went wrong. And the argument on that is that there's the people that voted for Trump were people who felt disenfranchised. And they were disenfranchised because the Democrats were the party of, oh, go get a college education. We like people who are college educated. And we made a big deal out of that. And they didn't get college educated, and therefore they don't have access to certain positions in this society. Okay? And she played to the people who did. She played to the people who had college educations and so on. And that's not what makes up the main part of America. And they felt that Donald Trump represented their needs. And maybe he did. I don't know. What are their needs? No government at all? Good. You're on your own. I'm in Portugal.
How's the healthcare in Portugal?
I have no idea. But I
Well,
imagine
they
it's,
live
I
2.5
imagine it's
years
better
longer
than
than we
it
do.
is. I imagine it's better than it is here. It's got to be. The United States is what, number 26, something like that in the world for medical
Number
care?
37 last time I looked.
It was what, 37?
Number 37th in life expectancy.
Okay, so I said 36 and you said 37. I'll take your 37. Okay. So, you know, it's got to be Portugal is higher than the United States.
They are.
You know.
They are.
You know, so. And,
Every,
what's going on there?
Developed countries higher than
Ryan's
us.
got a skunk.
No, it's Brian playing with his pussy.
I gotta get something.
His pussy's butt.
Yeah.
This cat, when we were a family, the cat always hid, and now that I'm the only one, now he just sits on my lap all the time, gets next to me, lies down next to me all the time.
I don't want to make comment about your choice of mates, but maybe he didn't like them. Okay, but he likes you.
Yes, I guess so.
Is it a he?
Yeah, it's a he.
He senses you're a male, so he was staying away from all the females you had in that house.
Oh, good. Okay.
Well, I mean, you had nothing but females in the house beside you, right?
No, he had the boy.
Oh, you had the boy. Oh, okay.
The boy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway. So, how have you been taking the election?
I think what's the name? Jon Stewart said it really well about how Democrats are just too nice and too want to follow the rules and all this stuff. And, from the Supreme Court stuff that happened before, with Obama. And then, man, Democrats are just too nice and they want to play by the rules all the time. And, man, it's going to get nothing done.
Well, the biggest problem is what I was saying, is I think there's a certain elitism that the Democrats represent now. That you don't see it because you're college educated and you got a great job, and a lot of other people don't see it because you don't know what it's like to be one of those people. And I think I said it before the election that I felt she was making a big mistake by not playing to those people, the hillbilly in the Ozarks, the mechanic in Biloxi, Mississippi. She didn't play to those people at all. It's almost as though they're those people, And I think that's what the Democratic Party has been doing for quite a while, and why they've lost the working class. I mean, can you imagine the working class voting for Republicans?
Yeah.
Well, it happened.
Yeah, but Trump lied. Didn't that gonna do anything for the working class?
I know.
Doesn't matter that he lied.
I know, but I sent. We have a little chat group, but I sent this picture. I was behind a car, and it was like some little old car, beater car, and they had a Trump, JD Vance sticker on it, and I just think of that, and I said, does this person think that they're going to get, I want to see this person's car 4 years from now. It's going to be the same beat up car because he's not going to do anything for this person, but these people vote for them. That's what I don't get.
Yeah, Bree has just joined us eating. Oh, that's unusual. Hi, Bree.
Hi, Alex.
Yeah, just stay where you are. Do not come back. I'll let you know when the coast is clear.
What do you mean? I could take a position in the Trump administration.
Well, I mean,
I'm fully qualified for everything.
I think it was Colbert the other night who said, if Trump, if you're watching, come on, I'm on television.
Where's my job?
Yeah.
Where's my job?
I want to be ambassador to Malaysia. I'm qualified for that.
Qualified, yeah. But no, you're qualified, so you can't possibly get the job.
No, he can't pick you.
Yeah.
Being qualified is a disqualification.
Well,
yeah, when he started making those picks, all of a sudden, like the flashbacks from 8 years ago started hitting. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot about all this stuff.
Well, these are guys who don't have TV shows anymore. If they have them, they barely have them.
I love how the media.
You don't talk politics on the pop-up. I said, at least you don't talk politics on the pop-up, It's a nice, quiet show that doesn't talk politics. Until last Monday, of course.
Well, something, I felt there was a need. I felt there was a need for that. I felt there was a need for that because people were feeling hurt, and I think they needed an outlet. And therefore, I am doing something good. But now we've done it, and we'll get on with other stuff and just shut the hell up about
hopefully we'll do that here too.
The orangutan,
It would be nice not to talk about Trump for a week on this show too.
Well, I think that tomorrow night, tune in. We're not going to talk about him. I mean, we will talk about things. I mean, if the Medicare people, under the watchful eye of Dr. Oz, do something terrible that affects me as an older person, sure, we're going to mention it. But we're just going to point it out.
I don't think you have to go cold turkey.
Huh?
I don't think you have to go cold turkey.
Well, I'll go cold jerky. How's that? But anyway, so how do you feel?
I'm not.
What?
I'm not feeling bad.
Well, you live out of the country, no wonder.
Well, remember, I'm the one who kind of pointed out that the issues that were going on. So
okay,
I was not surprised at all.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to bring up something here that nobody on MSNBC brings up. Nobody in the Democratic Party even mentions. It's the one topic that is never mentioned and has a large possibility. Was this election rigged? Was there some outside source that was causing the votes to turn out the way they did? The Democrats aren't going to ask this question. MSNBC isn't even going to mention it because then you sound too much like a Republican. But come on, this thing was a little too close for it to come out the way it did.
No.
And I understand why it may have turned out that way, but there's another part of me that can't understand how it does, how you can look at a guy like Trump and say, oh, he's my guy, I want to vote for him,
Well, he basically got the same number of votes that he got 4 years ago. It's just fewer Democrats turned out for Kamala.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say. Doesn't that sound like the fix is in? When you say there was a fix,
no.
When you say that, doesn't it sound like there was a fix?
Except the last month of the campaign, they were going around campaigning with the Cheneys, which would turn off over half of the Democratic base.
With the what?
How would you think that the Democrats are going to do anything for you when they're sitting there having these billionaires like Mark Cuban say, hey, she's going to be good for business. And they got Liz Cheney. She's going to be in my cabinet. That doesn't sound like anything that the average Democrat would want to happen. And so they stayed home and didn't vote.
Well, I'm very happy with the. I was very happy with the way she was running her campaign, but I think that I would have left Beyonce at home. I wouldn't have turned out so many movie stars from Hollywood because to those people who voted for Trump, those are the elitists.
Go back and check the record. Check the tape, Alex. I told you. I said when Taylor Swift came out for her, I said she was going to lose because Taylor Swift does not have a good track record in politics. When she endorses someone, they lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and Alex, though, you say, I want to hold you to something. You kind of were going about Trump about how he gets a pass. You said when you were younger, nobody was above the law. Okay, yes, we all learned that. That's true. But you worked in radio. You were on a morning show. And I did too. And I can tell you something. In cities where I worked for a popular media outlet, we got away with stuff. We did stuff. I wouldn't say we broke the law, but we bent the rules a lot. And because we were needed, we got away with it. And Trump made that point when he said you could do this to women. No, I never did that. That was ethically and morally you shouldn't.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that we've always thought that, but people have bent the rules throughout our life, and so I don't know why that comes as a big surprise to you.
Bending and breaking is different, though, isn't
it? Yeah.
You got 34 counts against you. That's broken.
Yeah, I mean, he technically the guy's a felon. Okay, he's just waiting to be told by the
Sentence.
judge what his sentence is going to be. But now they're holding it off because he's president. Wait a minute. I don't care if he's whatever. You know, I don't care if he's the king of England.
They don't. He is absolved of all crimes now. He has no crime against him.
That's right.
And no
He's
sentence.
done.
It's done.
He's done. He'll never see a jail cell.
That's right.
Yeah, P. Diddy's
He gets
gonna run
all
for
that stuff is
president now.
gone.
You know, I mean, it's amazing to me, but it's true. I mean, that this guy is getting away with, he could get away with murder right now. He could murder somebody on Fifth Avenue, like he once said, and he'd get away with it. Plain and simple.
He's almost done everything but that now.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's coming.
Yeah, I'm going to say give him 2 years.
Adolf didn't murder anybody before 1933 either.
Thank you, Charlie. And they all cheered when he won, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And then he turned on every one of them.
You know, in a lot of cases, the electorate in any given country is not that bright. You know, so what do we say to that? You know,
He's going to need Congress to do a lot of things he wants to do.
Mhm.
And that didn't work so well last time, even when he had total control the first 2 years.
Congress is scared shitless of him.
Yeah,
Oh,
They'll
look
do
who's-
whatever
look
he
who's
wants.
down in the food there, boy.
yeah, really. Yep,
Yeah.
check that molar, the upper molar. It looks like it's about ready to fall out.
Anyway, I don't know that he's not going to just have an easy time of it, because all these Republicans are going to fall into line. You know, I think there are a few senators, Republican senators, who are not that happy with him. Okay, that maybe they will go against him, but then again, you know, they got to have their party on their side when they run for office again. So
And
they're
today
afraid
he's-
to do anything. I mean, look what happened to Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney, you may like her or dislike her, it doesn't matter. She is an ethical conservative, okay? And she believes in conservative principles. And Donald Trump is not a good idea to her. Well, she got a job now? No. Because you need that party backing you when you run for office. So,
Yeah.
I
And
don't
what he
know.
said today was that he was going to make your life political hell if you don't go along with this program.
Yeah.
Basically threatened everybody that doesn't appoint these guys. This
That's
clown
why he
show
put
they
Matt
got.
Gates as Attorney General. He'll
Yeah.
do whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
whatever
and if
Trump tells
anybody,
him to do.
they all go behind closed doors
I
and they
don't
say,
think
"Oh, should
Matt
we release
Gates-
this
I
report?
don't
Should we
think-
release this report?"
I don't think Matt Gaetz will get confirmed. I think Matt Gaetz is the sacrificial lamb in all of this. Because they'll then turn him down, and Trump will say, well, you turned him down, but you can't turn down Dr. Oz.
No.
And by the way, Dr. Oz, oddly enough, is the most qualified
Qualified. Yeah.
as for the office.
At least
that
he's in the
being
medical
given,
field,
but-
sorta.
But
At least he's a doctor, yeah.
but only because he's a doctor. He's not a good one. If he was a good one, he'd actually be operating on people, not doing stupid TV shows like he was doing,
Yep.
giving bogus medical information. Okay?
I went to see him do surgery, and he was an asshole. And I met him a second time, and he absolutely proved to me that he was an asshole.
He did a show at Sirius XM. I watched him work. He was an asshole. Yes. Absolutely.
And that's why
That's
he's
why he
not
got hired.
practicing medicine. And he's on some TV show. Because he's
Well,
not good at practicing medicine.
I'm surprised Dr. Phil hasn't gotten a position yet.
Oh, just give it time.
He's
Give it
not a
time.
medical doctor, Dr. Phil.
No.
Dr.
That-
Laura Schlesinger
that-
was not a psychologist. Her
You know-
doctorate was in something completely different.
Laura Schlesinger, I can't remember what her specialty was. But
Physiology or something.
huh?
Well, Dr.
But it
Phil,
wasn't psychiatry.
No, I think it was something like history or it was something didn't even have anything to do with the medical field.
There was a doctor in the Bay Area, Dean Adele,
Mm.
the only good broadcast doctor I've ever heard. And he gave out good information,
Yep.
most of which was, doesn't sound good to me, I would see a doctor about that. And he didn't sit there trying to analyze what you had or didn't have. He just, if he was suspicious of it, he felt you should go to a doctor and not ask some guy you phoned on the radio.
Yeah.
You know, and I really appreciated him. He was really good. If they made him the head of Medicare, I'd say good for you. But Trump probably doesn't even know he exists because he's not on in the afternoon hours when Trump watches all of his TV. You know. You know, he can't even get somebody from Fox and Friends weekdays. You know.
Man, you think he's gonna last in office?
Who?
Trump. I don't think he's gonna last his health.
Oh, you
No,
think?
I think he will not last 4
Did
years.
you
And
know something? I'll tell you. I'll tell you something.
87% chance because of his BMI count and his weight and what he's eating. He's on the Air Force One eating McDonald's again.
Yeah, I got to tell you something. I don't like him, and I don't think he should have the job. But the best person he put in a job was RFK Jr., and he's the guy he's going to be most unhappy with.
Yeah.
I saw an interview the other day he did with, well, I don't know, you should see the food they're eating on that airplane. It's pure poison. You know, it's not like he's going to be a yes man for him. Plus, he is going to go after a few things. I think he does want to lower drug prices and do things like that. It's just his whole stand on vaccines, which is kind of insane, you know. Yeah, vaccines are terrible. Polio would have gone away on its own, you know. I mean, come on. You know,
I love these people.
That's where he's a nutcase. But there are other things he's pretty right on about. So,
I love these people that believe vaccines cause autism.
Well, it doesn't. There's no proof.
I know it doesn't. And
they did studies to make sure about that, and the studies indicated that no, that does not cause autism.
And there's still some nut jobs out there that believe that.
But I do know that it prevents polio.
But if there was proof of the autism, these companies would be sued like crazy.
Vaccines. I'm very happy with the COVID vaccine that came out. It saved my goddamn life.
Absolutely.
You know, so I mean, vaccines. Yeah, you can go after him for that. But I've heard him talk about other stuff, and he seemed to be somewhat in the loop. You know, with the rest of us. I think he'd like to see the drug companies not be able to charge what they're charging for drugs.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm all for that. So that may be the wisest choice he's made.
Yep.
But so far, we haven't seen a cabinet position for Hulk Hogan or Kid Rock.
That's coming. No, Kennedy will be out before the end of the year. You are before the end of 2025. Kennedy will be gone.
The minute he doesn't agree with Trump, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and he was not going to necessarily agree with Trump.
I think him and Trump and Musk are going to part ways too. I
don't think so at all. I think Musk is going to be president of the United States. I think Musk is going to be the de facto president of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay. That's another way to look at it. But they both like to have control of the media. They both like to be the one that's in charge. And I think that Trump's not going to give an inch, and Musk is going to move on. And
Trump is going to be jealous of all the attention that Musk is going to get.
Right. And Musk will talk bad about Trump on X, and Trump will talk bad about about the other guy on his social media.
But Musk is going to
after he gets his contract.
Musk is going to move on because Musk has a better job.
Yeah. Well, Musk is a lot younger too.
But he'll get his contracts and then move on. So if you remember the interview, Musk and Trump, I called it tool versus tool,
Yeah.
working the tool.
I'll tell you who's going to make a lot of money out of this, out of him winning the presidency, is Melania. Because I'm sure the Republican Party is paying her a fortune to stay with him.
Yeah.
You know? Because she never looks like she particularly wants to be there.
No.
Oh no.
He said she might
She's
not even
pretty
move to the
and
White
you know,
House.
She's
But
pretty.
Tony probably is calling
and
tonight to get his last licks in on Trump.
Well, I can tell you, Alex, on Dr. Oz, my brother's ex-girlfriend worked. She's a doctor at New York Presbyterian. He's a real surgeon. My brother had open heart surgery there.
I know he's a
he was
real
on a different team. So even though I don't think he's fit to run what he's doing, he's not stupid by any means. He's probably more money in TV than performing surgery. But when we were waiting for my brother to come down, his surgery
Why
team was
isn't he doing surgery now?
because there's probably big money in TV. I mean, come on.
No, there's no more TV. He hasn't.
No, but he was at the time. He was probably doing Oprah. She made him that celebrity. But Alex, we were in the
but wait a
waiting
minute,
room.
Wait a minute. I'm saying to you, where is he now? Have you? He hasn't had a TV show for like 5 years, 10 years. I don't know how many years now.
I mean, I don't know how much he's worth. I mean, I don't know why he's not practicing. I can't answer that. But I could tell you though that he was a big surgeon. He was on my brother's surgery team. He was on because we were in the waiting room. He came down, and my sister says, "You know who that is?" I says, "Man, I have no idea who that is." That's Dr. Oz. Says he's on Greg's surgery team. She says, "No." So he actually was in Presbyterian, a big time surgeon. He actually was in. I think he even taught at Columbia.
Saying he went to TV and stopped being a big time surgeon.
Yeah, I mean,
then when it was
Oprah
all
must have
over,
made him a ton of
nobody
money.
asked him to come back and be a big time surgeon because you don't go 20 years doing a TV show and stop doing surgery and then suddenly go back to it. Everything's changed.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, all I know is when my brother had it, my brother had that surgery. It has to be well over 10 years ago, and he was on the other surgeon team. So he was a big shot surgeon in Manhattan. There's no question.
Tony, Dr. Oz was a surgeon, and your brother was going to have his foot taken off, but they took his weenie off instead.
Very funny. When was the last time you seen your penis? Who was in office?
Who?
When was the last time I saw who?
Your penis. Who was in office?
Yes, it was in office.
Yeah, was it Reagan or was it Jimmy Carter? I'm going to go with Jimmy Carter on that one. I'll be right back. You think about it.
Started it out.
The magnifying glass. That's it.
Tony, where did you get that joke? It's a great joke.
Yeah, you worked that one well.
Who was president when you last saw your penis? I think that's wonderful.
It was cute, but I was trying to figure out what it's got to do with Dr. Oz cutting off his
Forget
brother.
it. Wait. All I'm saying is, the guy wasn't the administrator of a hospital. He doesn't know the business of hospitals, and when you're being the head of Medicare, shouldn't you know a little bit about the business of medicine?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
You ought to, yeah.
So, I mean, as I say, he's closer to at least being in the what can we call it? The field, but
I think in 2 more years, the Congress is going to change to Democrat. People are going to see these people for who they really are.
Until the Democrats change their ways, they may not be in office for quite a while.
Okay. Well,
I
Yeah.
think we have to consider that there's a tremendous money is involved with drug companies, manufacturing companies that are all medical devices. And you know who owns these manufacturers? These rich investors who own the stock.
Yep.
Well, you know
So-
something? Drugs in this country cost way too much, I mean,
more than in any other country.
more than any other country, yeah. And it doesn't make sense, okay? You see an ad on TV and they say, okay, we got this little, medicine for your heart condition. And then I go online to see how much it costs. They all cost $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know, there's no cheap non-generic drugs. And even the generic drugs, I don't know if you've seen what the generic drugs cost these days, but they've gotten to be very high as well, you know. In fact, you'll find a generic drug that is the generic of some other drug, and the difference in price is only $10, $15 a month. If that. Yeah, yes, Bree.
Well, I was in Thailand. Well, I was in a bunch of countries, but Thailand, and I had a sore throat that was developing, and I've had it before where I know that if I don't, nip it in the bud, it'll get worse. So I went to the pharmacy, and the guy, he's like, "Oh, well, okay, can you describe this? Can you tell me?" And so we talked for like 10 or 15 minutes of trying to get all the details. And then he said, "Okay, well, you got to take this for that, this for that, and this for that." And it's like 3 things. It took them 15 or 20 minutes to describe what they were, how they would affect me. And I was like,
Wait a minute. You just.
Oh no.
Oh no, he froze.
arm and a leg. He's like, this one. I'm like, okay, how much do I owe you? And it was like $4. And I had all this medicine for $4. I couldn't believe it.
In a lot of countries, I know Spain was this way for a while. I don't know if it's that way now. Because there wasn't a lot of doctors in the country, the pharmacies were allowed to find out what was wrong with you and then to give you the drug that you needed for that. And I think that's what you saw in Thailand. It takes the place of doctors. And in many cases, if I went to my pharmacy down here and I asked my pharmacist, listen, I've got a sore throat, what should I be taking? And they'd say, open your mouth, and they see red spots back there. They could give me the drug for it, but they can't. But they probably know more about ailments and what to take for them than a lot of these doctors do.
Well, you know what I do, Alex? That's my plan here. What I do is I go to at least 3 pharmacies. I describe what's going on, and then I hear from each of them what they think. And if 2 agree, then that's the one I want to do.
Yeah, but they can give you the drugs.
I don't just go to one.
They can give you the drugs without a prescription. See?
They can.
Yeah.
Well, but the other thing I'll tell you is
here we have a medical system which holds the cure for your disease ransom by a signature.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
So you got to go to the doctor to get the drugs. If you could go to the pharmacy and say, "Oh, I think I have this or I have that or whatever," and they look at you and they check you out and go, "Okay, here's the pill." You wouldn't have doctors sitting around holding your medicine for ransom.
This pharmacist in Thailand, I had a longer consultation with him than I ever would have got in the States with my doctor.
Well, average
the doctors come in.
Average consultation with a doctor in America is 7 minutes.
Yep.
Count it. In fact, the next time you go to a doctor, try to stall them out past 7 minutes.
I got mine to 15 this last week, so.
Really?
Yeah.
And Kaiser gives the doctor 20 minutes.
Do they?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I actually went to my regular doctor, and I was there for almost an hour.
Were you waiting or just inside?
No, I was there in the room talking to him because I kept bringing up more shit.
Well,
talking about the
got some
49ers.
serious shit.
You like this?
No, we didn't talk any
some
sports.
serious
That's my dentist.
I hate it. Alex, you know what I was reading too? I was reading up on the AIDS crisis when AZT came out. I'm not 100% sure the exact price, but I think on a monthly basis it was like over $1,000 a month they were charging people just to get the drug. It could have been a little more than that. So that's when they were picketing Wall Street, I remember. But that's how much they were just holding people hostage for the drugs, really.
That's his penis, by the way. And I'm saying Al Gore.
Right there.
Yeah, it's just
vice president. Anyway,
guess how much this cost me,
Tony, to answer your question, I see it every day. I have the Trump mirror in my bathroom. When I get out of the shower, It's got 100 times magnifying glass right about where my penis is at.
Mine too. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Trump, thanks to Trump, I can get his mirror.
I'm telling you, I can't believe he won, Alex. I mean, I was jealous you were overseas. I was happy for you, really. You should have stayed or not.
Well, I mean, I was getting very depressed over there.
Really?
When I watched any American television, when I watched British TV, it was different. There, they were all consumed with the fact that the Archbishop of Canterbury was getting thrown out of office.
I heard you post that, yeah.
Yeah, and for hiding somebody's sexual predilection or something, and that was a relief that I was watching that news.
Can I ask you a question, Alex?
No.
What do you think of this RFK Jr. with the non-vaxxer? My brother thinks it's going to be like a shit show, really. Here,
there's half of RFK that's okay.
Which is that, and he looks like he tans too. You see how dark he is.
Well, he sits out in the sun too much. But
yeah, so you think that? I wonder if he's going to a tanning bed.
And he works out, and he's a health nut.
No, exactly. That's
he's a health nut. But barring his vax feelings, there's a lot of stuff he's okay on. I mean, he believes that drug prices are way too high. I agree with him.
Yeah.
You wouldn't disagree with that. He feels that medical care in this country should be a lot better than it is. I mean, as we were mentioning a few minutes ago, it's 37th in the world. Come on, this is the United States of America. Shouldn't we be number one? We're number one. We're number one. No, we're not. We're number 37.
The thing you've learned, Alex, is over time.
Education, where are we?
We're stupid in education now, Alex.
Hold on a second. Charlie, where are we in education?
I think that's somewhere we're like 25th or something. We're nowhere near the top.
Well, but here's the thing.
In fact,
in terms of confidence,
where health is concerned, I think we're number 37. And guess who's number 36? Cuba.
Yeah.
They're ahead of us.
Oh, my.
Yeah, but Alex, look, the poll was done.
We should be swimming over there.
And it said that Americans' math skills, we were, ranked like 37. But when we asked people confidence in their math skills, then we're like number 10.
Well, you just break the calculator.
I'm serious. The perception is that the U.S., among Americans, that we're number one in everything. That's the perception.
No, because it's all the people we're getting from out of this country.
Exactly.
That are smart, that are running.
Bringing us up the curve.
No. I'm serious.
I agree.
Tony, I'm serious.
Hold on, Tony.
Yeah, I'm serious. I work in tech, and I go to lunch every day, and I see people around there. And I'm not trying to say anything about any, nationalities or cultures or anything. But I will tell you that there's a huge percentage of people who are running these Silicon Valley companies or working for them that were not American educated. And that's one of the things. We could be a terrible educated country, but because we're importing all of our high tech.
Have you noticed all the doctors' names lately?
Yeah,
a lot of vowels.
That's because our education.
Every other doctor's name is Gupta.
No, but our education sucks. Our education sucks, and our kids are going to get worse educations because the country's doing so well, being run by other people.
Mm-hmm. Here we have a lot of outcome-based education, and they're very strict with the rules and the regulations. So you have to have the course learning outcome and meet that, and file it with the government. So, I would say the educational system here in higher ed is pretty good.
But Linda McMahon's going to change all that here in America.
I hope she makes something. Oh, maybe we can have like Hulk Hogan be like in charge of something.
Yeah.
But the other issue you have here is all these companies are so DE&I based. They have it as a culture to make sure we're diverse here, which I believe is very, very good. But the thing is, we have a Sweden plant, we have a Sweden factory that they're all Swedish. They're not DE&I based. So you have a lot of these countries that don't believe in DE&I based. But we do, so it's we're not focused on American education or American people running countries.
So, Brian, are you forced to hire people in your company then, if just for that reason? Then, not the best qualified person.
I'm not going to talk about that.
I take
Nothing.
Well, you do
But we have
you
a
do
huge
have,
diversity.
what is the
Diversity and inclusion is,
No, it
is
happens.
a huge
It's a reality.
program in all Silicon Valley companies.
Yeah, but
That means I
don't they
applied
also
to
have
come
the
back
right
to the state.
to use people who have these? What's the visa? The Type 2 visa? The type?
Oh yeah, where you can come over and work with them.
Yeah,
Hold on, Tony, please. I know. Don't drink coffee tonight.
I actually eating corn checks, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
What were you? What is it? It's a type.
They're on work visas. Yeah, on work visas.
But they're visas that people get because they can be special to your company and take care of jobs that other people couldn't duplicate.
Right.
I've
Kind of like a
applied for
field worker
jobs.
that are all going to get kicked out of the country.
Well, that's the other problem. Yeah.
But how many of you have applied for a job, not to get it, and then to see that the person they hired was a DPI?
No
That's
comment.
happened to me 2 or
I'm
3
not
times.
working. I can't tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
happened
work.
to me
I don't
2
know.
or 3 times. 2 or 3 times that I can directly say, and I know for a fact that I'm more qualified. But I didn't get the position because of that.
Yeah, I believe if I'm running a department that I think I don't want to have all white guys that were born and raised in the Bay Area because we're all going to have the same thoughts, right? I definitely want some diversity in my group, but I don't want it forced on me, you know.
But
So
here's
I
the
want
thing,
people.
Brian.
I want people with different backgrounds and different educations
Well,
and
aren't you
different
allowed
You
to
just
have?
described.
Get that.
Aren't
You
you
just
allowed to
described
have?
diversity on one dimension there, and
Well,
that's
hold
the
on a
thing.
second. Hold on a
Do you
second.
think that I'm a white guy, but do I bring diversity back to the U.S.? I've been abroad for 18 years.
You will now.
I've worked in 5 countries. I think that qualifies as diversity. Don't look at my skin color. Don't look at my age. Look at my experiences.
Yeah, but in
That's what I would
Malaysia,
say.
wait a minute. In Malaysia, aren't you a diversity hire?
No, they don't have diversity and inclusion in those countries.
Well,
They don't say we need to
do.
hire some white people.
Actually, we do.
I don't think we should
and
have
it's
to
among
have.
3 races.
Gee, can I say something? I don't think that we should
Raise
have
your
to
hand.
necessarily have. If our country was healthy, diversity hiring would not even be needed.
It would
The
be
fact
automatic.
is that we are a very racist country, a very what's the word I'm looking for? Xenophobic country, and so we have to cause these rules to exist because we can't do them on our own. I'm sure that left to his own stuff, you would go ahead and hire the best person for the job.
Yeah, and sometimes you want those different outlooks from different educations and different upbringings that bring those different ideas to your group. And
I think
But
Trump's
instead,
doing
you're
that
told
right
that
now.
you're told that you have to have a certain amount of this, a certain amount of that, and so you have to pay attention to that. And I'm sure you've wanted to hire somebody once, and they said, "No, we gotta hire this guy because he fits more into that diversity thing," right?
Happened to me several times.
Huh? It's happened to you?
Happened to me several times when I was trying to hire people.
Really?
Yeah.
And they would.
And the bosses were there, and it turned out, at the end of the day, well, we think we better go with this one.
yeah,
And without
I'm not
getting
saying,
into detail, it was forced upon me.
yeah, I won't say anything bad about my company now, but I know that there's my friend who's a white guy who grew up with me, and he's very highly educated from Cal Berkeley and everything. He's been having a hard time finding a job, and he's told me all these reasons why. And there's just a list of them, even age, even a lot of stuff. So,
Well, when I
age is-
retired,
forget
when
it.
I got laid off / retired, I tried to find a job for 2 years. And I had a stack of recommendations, a stack of references. I had all the qualifications. I had phone numbers, whatever they wanted. Sit in a room
Look at
with
my
5
history in
different people.
broadcasting. Look at my history in broadcasting. Wouldn't you think that when I was out of work at Sirius XM, somebody would swoop me up the next day?
Right.
No,
No. You know why?
kidding.
Guess how old Pops was at the time?
Uh-huh.
You know?
Same thing with me. It was age. It was age discrimination.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I even went back to my old company who invited me to come back, but they wanted to check their boxes. Oh, we did the old guy. We did the old guy with the cane. We did the, the ex-employee. We did
By the
this.
way,
We
by
did
the
that.
way,
Okay, we're good.
Let me tell
See
you.
ya.
Let me tell you, people now. You want to have a good time? I want to thank Alan here because he gave me the best ticket I could buy. It was called a
best what?
cane. He sent me a cane,
All right.
and that
right.
cane got me a wheelchair at the airports. Marjorie too. And we just zipped right through. You know. It was
Like I said
wonderful.
to you
It was
Saturday, you got to
wonderful.
go to Disneyland. You get to the front
I'm
row
saying
every
to
time.
Any of you, I mean, the trouble with Jeff is Jeff doesn't use a cane. Why don't you use a cane, Jeff?
I don't need one.
Forget it. Yes, you do when you're traveling. As a matter of fact, because Marjorie has not yet been approved for her TSA.
Clear.
What's the thing called? The pre-check.
Free pass, pre-check, whatever it is.
And it turned out, I looked at my ticket. She had TSA pre-check on her ticket as well, because I had it.
And the cane did all that for you, huh?
Huh?
The cane did all that for you.
The cane didn't do that for me, but the wheelchair thing, it was wonderful. They picked us up at the front, down in early parts of the signing on process, and then they wheeled us through the whole thing. Then we got on the plane. When we got to Paris, when we got to Paris, we didn't have a wheelchair because I forgot to make sure that they're waiting for us. So going back, I said, when we get to Newark, make sure there are wheelchairs there. And as soon as we got off the plane, there were 2 wheelchairs.
I think that cane's traveled more than you recently. It was probably made in China, sent to America,
Yeah, right.
and then sent to New York. And I saw it in one of your videos in front of Notre Dame. You had the brown one with you, the brown colored one with you.
Yeah.
And Marjorie had her old wooden one that she likes, and I thought, wow, that cane's really made a lot of travel.
Gotten a lot of video time. Very hard to shoot when you've got a cane, though.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but I managed to do it. We had sent back some good videos and so on. So where do we stand? Where do you think we stand? Is it as bad as we think it's going to be?
No.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Let's go to Kevin first. Kevin?
Yes, it is.
Definitely. Okay. How about you, Al? Well, I know what Charlie's going to tell us. What, Charlie?
I said not yet because it's going to get a lot worse once he gets in office and starts implementing all those tariffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and starts throwing people out of the country.
Yeah, and that too.
Because everybody that voted for him voted for him on the E word, economy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
well,
what everybody.
Oh, yeah, that's doing good. The stock market's plunging now that he's going to be president.
Nothing he's proposed is going to fix the economy. All he's trying to do is throw people out of the country and get revenge on his detractors.
I have my stock portfolio with Morgan Stanley, and they sent out an email, and it also made mainstream media too, business news and a couple different outlets, that it says that if he does these tariffs in 2026, the economy will be in the dumps. The stock market will have taken a large plunge downward.
Well, they were saying that before the election.
Right. Well, but and then people went ahead and voted him in. I hope they lose their.
Listen,
I hope they lose their retirement.
All wrong. I hope they're all wrong. I hope that he does a tariff thing, but it works beautifully and it saves us money and we make money and it's wonderful. But it's not going to happen.
Not gonna.
They can't save us money. Tariffs, by their very nature, raise the cost of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who works for a car company that they're trying to get over here. They're big in China, and they're waiting for the tariffs to come now. So
they used to import and export to Asia.
Yeah.
Walmart's already talked about laying off people because the price is going to go up on everything they sell.
Yeah.
And I think somebody like Walmart.
And then Musk wants to redo the whole Fed and all this, how our money's dealt with, and I'm like, these guys are going to start changing things. They're going to start changing things, and they won't see any effect because they make so much damn money. But it's just going to kill everything underneath, and they won't see it, and they won't care.
And they don't care. And secondly, and this is the one that really gets me, Trump wants us to go to Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're all going to be Bitcoined.
He used to say it sucked, but now he wants to go to Bitcoin.
Because Elon talked him into it.
Let me ask you, Alan, do you think it's going to be as bad as we think?
No.
No?
No. I think it's going to be worse.
Oh, okay. All right. How about you, Jeff?
I knew that was coming.
No interest for me.
Huh?
I have no interest for me for this non-financial stuff that Trump wants to use.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the whole with Trump being in office, are things going to be better or worse?
Oh, I think, first of all, I really think he's going to have a lot of problems in what he's trying to manage because he's a terrible manager. And the guys that he's hiring are not very capable people themselves. So they're going to make all kinds of disaster problems. But their fundamental stuff that they're going to try to accomplish, I think they're going to be pretty crappy and have all kinds of problems.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Brian? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just worried about the whole money stuff. Yeah. I mean, people worked very hard to get where they are, honestly, and then them shifting around with all these rich guys doing money stuff, and yeah, I think it's gonna be worse. I think it'll be worse than last, because last time he was distracted with COVID, and he made bad decisions there, but he was distracted with COVID. If we don't have a COVID, it's going to be just nonstop of him.
But with COVID, he didn't know how to handle it.
I know, but at least he was distracted.
People forget this. They have this amnesia about the time he was in office. One of the things he did that was terrible is with this problem with the COVID, he had absolutely no ability to handle it. Absolutely none
but
whatsoever.
at least that distracted him for a while, and not mess with stuff like doing stupid stuff like Bitcoin and all this other stuff. So that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. How about you? Of course, it doesn't really matter to you, Bree, but how do you feel?
Well, I think it'll be the same. I don't think it'll be worse or better. I think it will just continue on. In the short term, actually, it will be better because Trump is the kind of guy who says, oh, can we make $1 trillion if we drill in this forest? Yeah. Okay. Clear the forest and just drill, and get the oil. And so in the short term, he does things that will be of economic benefit. And if he says this industry, well, they're over-regulated, so they're losing money, he'll say, yeah, deregulate that, let them make more money. So in the short term, it's the same as before. The national debt will go up, but prices will come down. And then 4 years from now, they'll have to vote somebody in to clean it up. So, so don't worry about it.
He'll appoint somebody, right?
I just got breaking news in here. I should have a little thing that says breaking news. The Justice Department has asked a federal court to force Google to sell Chrome.
Oh, yeah, that's old. That was like 2 hours ago.
Really? Well, I'm sorry. It just hit my wrist a few minutes ago, okay?
Well, I read about that earlier today. One of the things I should have kept Donald Trump Jr.'s WhatsApp number was I could WhatsApp him and tell him to give me a job back in the States.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
they need a lot of janitors, Bree, around the White House.
What happened to Tony? Tony, are you still there?
And Brian
looking for his penis.
He isn't even in the same room. He can't hear me.
For his penis.
We could hang up on him. We do that, and they'll come back, and he won't know why we hung up on him. Well, he won't know we hung up on him.
Tony's writing some more joke.
Huh?
He's writing some more joke.
He's writing some more jokes. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. So, I just don't know what the advantages to talking about Trump. It's just, like tonight, what did we solve? We solved absolutely nothing.
Well, but thank you. Thank you. Alex, I would like to get the panel's opinions about Kamala Harris's spending of her campaign finances. Giving Oprah Winfrey $3 million, giving Beyonce $1 million, giving
that's bullshit.
$10 million.
You're wrong. She didn't give. She didn't. I know she didn't give Oprah $3 million because that rumor was going around. She gave her production company that money to produce stuff, but that wasn't at a profit. It was just they didn't want to work for free. They had people to pay. They had people who had to put food on the table. But Oprah didn't make $3 million as a result of that. So
Oprah's pretty wealthy on her own.
Yeah, she doesn't need the $3 million, and
That's
Beyonce
right.
didn't need it either. And I don't know if she got anything either, except she didn't perform, so there wasn't a need to hire a crew to do that. But she probably had some people that work with her that had to, do her makeup and stuff like that.
How about all the interviews she bought off?
What?
She paid off interviewers.
You sound like a
Basically,
Republican
to get
friend of
softball
mine.
Where are you getting this crap?
It's all over the place. It's
Well, I
all
know.
over.
Wait a minute.
You can
Wait a
read
minute.
about
All
it.
over the place doesn't count because you can put it on TikTok and it's all over the place.
He sounds like a Republican friend of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the things
Look, I
you
gotta
just
try
said.
to get this job back in the States.
None of the things you just said that you got from the usual reliable sources was true. Okay.
Al Sharpton, he did an interview with Al Sharpton, and her committee gave a donation to his.
Is he on the same show?
What?
I'm joking, Bree.
Yeah, I'm just saying that
All this stuff you were
gotta
hearing,
admit,
this was all the stuff that was online being promoted by the usual unreliable sources.
Right.
she was invited to Joe Rogan. She didn't do it.
I know she was invited to Joe Rogan. She didn't want to do it. Right. And why should she?
On Fox?
Why should she have done Joe Rogan? How is
The
she going to
National
benefit
Black
from going?
Journalist
Wait, how is she going to benefit by
Association.
going on a show that didn't want her?
She's going to benefit by being able to answer questions that aren't pre-prepared and speaking the truth about
After
what she thinks.
and then he then says, and now let's bring on Donald Trump, and then he's there licking his ass. You know, come on. She knew what she was getting herself into, and why should she get herself into that? She didn't mind to
Rogan
go.
asked
I
Trump-
mean, she went on Fox. You know,
Yep.
she went and did an interview
Yeah.
on Fox.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I don't think she didn't do enough of that. You know,
Well,
and
I
also
think-
the other thing
I
when
think
she went on
that-
Fox, she deflected a lot.
Yep.
Like she just refused to answer specific questions.
By the way, as long as I've got basically the left wing mafia here, what do you think about Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski going down and meeting
Yeah,
with
that
Trump?
was stupid.
Oh yeah.
Do you know that
They
during
got
their
to do that.
show,
They got to make
that-
sure they're not on the hit list.
They went on the air. They went on the air and they talked about it. And as soon as they did, their ratings dropped precipitously.
Really? Wow.
They should not have done it. I mean,
It-
they're
but
worried
pe-
about that. What
well,
about Jimmy
people were
Kimmel
bothered
and
by
Seth
it.
Meyers? They're dead.
What?
I said, if they're worried about it, what about Jimmy Kimmel and Seth Meyers? They're both dead right now.
Yeah, well, none of them are going to do it.
Especially Jimmy Kimmel. God,
Hell no.
he's
Jimmy
been
Kimmel's
brutal to Trump.
he is awesome.
He's wonderfully brutal. with
I just
Trump.
never understood. You know, Jimmy Kimmel, The View. It's like they put all their eggs in one basket. I don't understand that.
Yeah. But anyway,
It's material. Now they got
I-
another 4 years of it.
You know, I think that Biden should have not ran a second time. I think it would have gave Kamala and maybe somebody else, like the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, or somebody like that, a much better chance of beating Trump early on. She had a shortened time period to say who she was and put her word out because Biden ate up part of that running.
Hey, you can say that Kamala didn't go on Joe Rogan, but then again, Trump didn't go on Howard Stern.
Right.
And the equivalent of Joe Rogan, really, when it comes to audience size and so on, would be Howard Stern.
I don't.
And she went on Howard Stern.
I think Joe Rogan still has a lot more viewers.
I just want to know why. What cachet does Joe Rogan have? I've watched him. There's nothing there.
Yeah,
Nothing.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of people that watch nothing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a discussion we could have when we're not talking about Trump, is why certain people are so fucking popular, But
That's true.
yeah, but Joe Rogan, I don't get it. I've listened to him. I don't get it. He's not even a good interviewer.
He's not a good comedian either,
He was a failed comedian.
right?
You remember what his big show was on TV?
Fear Factor.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, does anybody remember what Anderson Cooper's big show was on television before he went into news?
Yeah.
No.
It was that show, The Mole.
Oh,
He was the host
I
of
remember
The
that.
Mole.
Was he on that?
He was the host.
Yeah, he's a host.
I don't remember that. I remember watching it a couple of times, but that's how well that one did.
That was not a bad show, though. I kind of liked that show.
Yeah,
I
know
hate
people that
reality
watched it,
TV.
but I couldn't.
As game shows went, But anyway, I don't understand Joe Rogan, and I don't understand why he would be a tastemaker. Let me get rid of Tony, even before we leave here. Wait a minute, hold on a
Nice
second.
white
Should I make him
wall.
the co-host? No. Shall I just remove him? Yeah, let's get rid of him. Okay. And we'll port to Zoom. There we go.
Walking
they-
above the tiger.
How you did it?
I think they're saying Joe Rogan's exposure was as much as like all these daytime and all these news outlets, all these things combined, the exposure that he would get from Rogan.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan is it right now.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, And if she had gone on Joe Rogan, I don't know that it would have benefited her. That's the question. That's probably what they had
No,
to
because
ask
she couldn't
themselves.
answer any questions.
They don't
Because she
want.
doesn't have any ideas.
What?
She wouldn't be able to answer questions. That was proven, Alex.
What do you mean she
didn't
wouldn't
have
be
the
able to
ability.
answer questions? I've seen her in interviews where she did just fine answering questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the interviews where they gave her the questions in advance, or where she already pre-rehearsed the corporate answers. I never got a sense that she was her own person. Never got that feeling. I always got the feeling.
Well, I
that
got
she
the
had a bunch
feeling
of
that she.
consultants right
How
before
many
going
here
in.
had that feeling that she wasn't her own person? Anybody? How many people felt that she was authentic?
I think the news
Yeah.
is in Malaysia about her.
Yeah, I think
never got the
the news,
impression.
the internet getting to Malaysia is slower than it should be, and you should ramp up your bandwidth.
Wait a minute. He knew about Chrome before you did.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, so sometimes.
Anyway, I think that's about it, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, Amy's not going to be here. You can go for another hour.
No, I can't. Because I'm lazy. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. I was hitting the wrong music thing. There we go. There's our theme. Hey, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. Okay.
You betcha.
Don't do the thumbs up anymore. Let's stop with that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
go to the thing.
And that
I relate that to cars. There's nothing to do with him.
Hey, thanks, Charlie, for being here. And Alan, thank you. Jeff, I'll see you tomorrow for lunch or whatever we're doing.
Who's buying?
I don't know.
And
Yeah, hot dog or something.
thanks to Brian for being here, and Bree all the way from Malaysia. Thank you, Bree. Oh, there we go.
Thank
She
you.
gives us a nice view to leave on, and everybody kind of give a big. Tomorrow night, no Trump, but we'll find other things to talk
Oh,
about.
come on, Alex.
What?
Don't go cold turkey.
I'm gonna go cold turkey. We'll see what happens. It's the great
It's gonna
experiment.
go cold orangutan.
Cold orangutan, right, exactly. Good night, Kevin. Good night, Charlie. Good night, Alan. Good night, Brian. Good night, Bree.
Good night, John Boy.
Yeah, who left us? Who else left us there?
Tony.
Oh, Brian left us. Okay, thank you, Brian. And we'll see you all tomorrow
He's
night.
right here.
Yeah.
He's in the center square.
Right. Same
I'm
time,
going to do
same
the Trump
station
Daily
and live.
Report.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Wait a minute. Let me go to my camera. There we go. I forget how to do all this stuff. Anyway, we'll see you again tomorrow night with a Trump-free edition of the Ramble and see how it works. See if we can get along. See, because we said everything we had to say tonight. Maybe we'll talk about Trump once a month or something and let you deal with it that way. Anyway, we'll see you again tomorrow. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody.